Welcome to another episode of The Streets of Vegas. We are broadcasting live from Vegas Hype Media Network, the premier premium podcast studio network. We got Quan on the board. Shout out to my man Quan. And today's guest, a special guest, return guest, Bigg Mitch, a.k.a. Terrell Stewart. What's up, my brother?
You already know, man. Dig a ditch, Bigg Mitch from Super 6. And we kicking in doors with 030s and we bringing 101s because we Vegas sons. It's the Chronicles.
That's what I wanted to hear. I was going to ask you for the intro off top. You already on top of it, man. So how you doing, man?
Well, you know, I'm still breathing, so I guess I'm winning.
I heard that, man. Good to see you, man. You know, we talked earlier, man, and it was kind of like the introduction and everything, kind of me getting to know you and my platform getting to know you and whatnot. But now we're going to kind of bring it up to speed, man, with everything, with what's been going on with the Vegas Chronicles, man. Just salute, man. Hats off, man. Much success to you, man. I mean, I've seen it from when you was already moving when I caught up to you, but now just to where it's gone at, man, it's just crazy, man. Phenomenal growth, man. And I see you putting in the work every week, every day. You dropping something, and I think it's you just consistent, man. You know what I mean? Consistent, man.
Well, I appreciate that, man. And you know, to everybody that salute my platform, my small little platform, I humbly appreciate it, man. It's about the message, not me, honestly, man. I'm at the point in my life right now where I realize, you know, we all on borrowed time.
Right.
And I'm just trying to, you know, get the best of me out there and what I've been through in life as a former gangbanger of Las Vegas. Because we being a small state, we don't really get to tell our stories like the other major ones. So I'm making sure before I leave here, the children, the youth that decide to, you know, what lane should I choose in life? I'm letting them to know. I'm gonna let them know that the lane that I chose in life, this is what it got me. So I suggest you choose the other one. You know, so that's what my platform is about. It's about bringing real exposure to a issue, a crisis in our community over here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and it is a crisis too, man, especially to the youth. And I know nowadays that you know, the game didn't change from back then to now, but the consequences are pretty much the same or even worse. You know
it's way worse. You know, what we began with back, you know, when I jumped off the porch, it was in '85. You know, we were still about the fisticuffs, but you know, the gunplay really started to, you know, into the game. And that was because of, you know, there's a lot of things that changed. You know, the influctuation of crack cocaine, like in the '85, and you know, with the music changing. You know, we went from
definitely want to talk about that too.
We put the guns down and we picked up guns, man, and the whole culture just changed to something that, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you, it was they made a song about it a long time ago in New York. It was called Self-Destruction.
Self-Destruction, right? Okay, right.
And, you know,
and your hip hop knowledge is very good, man. I peeped some of your videos, man. But Self-Destruction, KRS-One, when they had the all-star lineup, I think that was one of the biggest songs. And then if you want to take it a step further, remember the West Coast did one?
It was called "We in the Same Game."
We in the Same Game.
Easy,
you know what I mean? Easy and of all people, Easy and the Ice Cube, Dre and them and all them. So I think, you know, culturally, and we'll talk about the impact of hip hop. We got away from that. You know what I mean? Because cats was rocking the high top fades and polka dots and dancing. Then they went to the Raiders hats and the black T-shirts. So we kind of lost something in there. But I want to take it back, man, and really get what was your initial inspiration behind Vegas Chronicles, and when did you start it? Because I know you talk about a lot about the Hood Postman and other cats that you kind of, you know, mention on your platform that kind of helped you. But what was your initial inspiration behind starting Vegas Chronicles?
Okay, well, you know, first of all, shout out to, you know, to the Hood Postman, Melly Mel.
Is he out of L.A.?
He's from Compton, man. He's a good brother, man. And shout out to the Mailroom Goons, you know, Queen Marlene and everybody that support my platform. I'm Vegas gooning over here. But, you know, my life, you know, before my father passed, you know, my father, you know,
R.I.P. to Pops too.
He the face of Vegas, and that can't be taken from him when it comes to the streets. Without my father, there would have been no streets. Well, I ain't gonna say it wouldn't have been no streets, but the streets wouldn't have been like it is now.
Like he definitely played a big role. Big role.
So you know, with my father, you know, I made a promise to him. You know, I told him that, you know, Dad, you know, he told me, he say, son, I'm glad you're doing what you're doing because I always aspired to talk to the youth.
So he was able to see it before he passed. He was able to start to see your transition.
And he said the difference between me and him was he say Terrell, he say, son, I'm glad that you was born with a lid. He said, because I ain't got one. He said, I'm going to die doing what I'm doing.
I live meaning what, if you break that down?
That mean that, I can stop doing what I'm doing, close it.
Okay.
That mean that he was going to keep going till he stayed open, he stayed doing drugs, he stayed running the streets. He ain't had no lid. He don't know nothing about no closing down. He don't know nothing about no changing.
It was one way with it.
But he was glad that I did. And he was like, that's what make you better than me, son. He said, you can be just as hard as you was in these streets, Terrell, but you can also be positive with it, and I'm glad because you're not scared of nothing. And he said that's because you my seed and you cut from a different cloth.
Cut way different cloth. How long has Pops been gone, man?
It's going on probably about 2 years.
2 years. That's crazy, man. I didn't realize that. That's probably about the time my Pops been gone too, man.
Yeah,
I didn't realize that, man. My Pops, I'm originally from Louisville, Kentucky, and he passed about 2 years ago. And it was so crazy because when it was like a big moment in my life. I was turning 50. Right, on August the 12th, a couple years ago. I'm 52 now, but then that was one aspect, and then 4 days later he passed. So I went from one end to the other. I didn't know we had that in common, man. That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
It's something a man don't want to have in common, but unfortunately, when death call our name, who are we not to answer?
Right.
Because that's one thing we all got in common, and that's death. So that balances everything out racially, culturally, tribally, however you want to see it. Death. We shall all drink from the cup of it.
The ultimate equalizer.
That's right.
You know what I mean? The ultimate equalizer.
Only thing that don't discriminate in is colorblind.
Right. That's true. That's true. And so, briefly a little bit about on your history. So I know you did do something. What'd you do, about 20 years, you said?
I did 20 years for gang-related murder, man. Basically, and I hate, to keep going over this, but it's something that I have to, do, and that's what God said. You go wear this brand because you chose to make a deal with me now. Now you tattooed over your face and you did all this LeVay stuff and you didn't worship the devil, but he couldn't open that door up in there.
Yeah.
He said, I'm the one with the keys to everything you seek, boy. And he said, either you go do right by me or you ain't gonna do nothing at all. Pick or choose. And I ain't gonna stay here long because I got other people I need to serve.
I heard that.
So I chose to roll with God. You know what I mean? And my thing is, I just want, I'm gonna just say what I did. I killed the Donna Street Crip, right? And I caused the two biggest gangs in Vegas to go to war.
Was that the Donnas and the Gersons?
The Gersons. Okay. At the time, we were allies. Okay, it was during the Rodney King truce. All right, and
so it was like 91 when everybody 92. So when they decided to click up, let's go and click up. And
I wasn't used to when I got out of the county jail, and I wasn't used to all these gangs in the Gerson. You had Bloods and ABMs and stuff that I wasn't used to. Now, I know that Rodney...
This was after you got out.
Yeah, I wasn't used to that. I know y'all supposed to have... Y'all mad at the so-called white man now, whatever, or the police or whatever. But my thing was, I wasn't used to this. I didn't like it, and you can say, well, I was the little beady-eyed black dude that stood back with his hands crossed, don't want to be a part of nothing. This ain't, I don't like this. They killed my homeboy.
It was a lot of fractions of gangs, wasn't it?
It was a lot of gangs, and we wasn't doing nothing but partying and getting drunk and stuff like that and throwing stuff and shooting at the police and all, and running up and tearing up our own stuff. It had no purpose because Rodney King is not from Vegas. I understand that.
Right.
It was a,
But it was more of a racial
undertone.
Police thing. Because I remember when the verdict hit, it went all the way through the West Side. Everybody felt that, man.
Yeah, some people. Because I'm gonna tell you something. The dealings that we had with the police over here wasn't as strenuous as they had with the police.
LA.
Yeah,
and it was
the police wasn't killing us like that. We was killing ourselves.
Right.
Out there, it's a whole nother story. You know what I'm saying? It's more gangs, it's more actions. They got fully automatic weapons, so it's more, Out here, we was barely getting to that. We was
wasn't even at that point yet, so that was a little,
our interactions with the police, because I was there from day one when it was the Palmer Boys. That was the first form of a gang unit that Vegas ever had. And they drove tan Jeeps. And they were more security guardish, but it was the first form of police that they had. Then you had the Nasty Boys.
I remember the Nasty Boys.
Yeah,
I remember them.
They was there for a certain amount of time. They used to have black vans, and they jumped out with ski masks on.
Yeah, but they was dirty though, man, wasn't they?
They was real scary, because you didn't know if he was being kidnapped or what. You just seen some dudes jumping out of black vans. Then you had Johnson & Johnson.
Okay.
Johnson & Johnson drove Camaros. Everybody knew them Camaros. That was the gang. Then after them came the Yellow Jackets.
The Yellow Jackets, I remember them too.
And that was the end of my era. I fell after the Yellow Jackets. Now all these police gang units, they know me, from being in the streets, and I'm gonna tell you something. When I committed that murder, I was so known by the Yellow Jackets. It was one of them named David Reed, and he used to ride around with one named LaRusso. And when they arrested me, they had the guy that I killed. They had his funeral the same day. And a lot of guys, a lot of Donnas, they had a riot down there. They was really unruly. So a lot of them, they bought the paddy wagon and they locked a lot of them in Northtown jail. Okay. I got arrested that same night.
How old was you when you got arrested?
17. Wow. And they was finna send me to Northtown jail with the Donna Street Crips.
Oh, that was, man.
Yeah, because I was wanted for murder. But the Yellow Jackets,
they was gonna send you to that set's jail.
Yeah, I was on my. But the Yellow Jackets intervened because they the ones caught me. So when the detectives was trying to take me to Northtown, they say no, they'll kill him in there. Yeah. We caught him with a weapon. We caught him with sherm, paraphernalia and stuff. We're gonna charge him with this. Y'all can put a hold on him, but he gonna be in the county jail. So that's how they separated me. So just by that guy knowing me, and when he brought me to the county jail, he told me basically, what did you do, man? What happened? How did it come to this? And you finally did it and all that. And I was full of that sherm. I didn't care. I just looked at him sadistically and just grinned.
Yeah, you was gone.
And I said, I said, F him, but that was my mentality. I didn't know that I was gonna cause the bloodshedding of so many young black boys and girls that from that instant, that situation, that caused a reaction that led to not just the Gersons and the Donna going to war, but the whole Northtown consolidating against the west side of Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's so like the two biggest sections of Vegas
went to war
at it.
And it started behind what I did. And
was you, when it really popped off, was you already sent up? So you was out of the picture when it jumped off, right?
Yeah, well, what really consolidated the North and the West, it was what was going on the street, but it was what was going on in prison. Okay. See, because what I did when I went to prison, it changed the landscape. Because when I went to prison, people that used to be friends became foes.
In prison.
Okay. Because I wasn't no ordinary just a gang member. I was really a gang.
Like a high profile.
Yeah. And I'm Lil Sheepdog. So
you already had your legacy and all that going in.
Yeah. And plus my father going through there and him being a legend and my uncles being legends. So when I came there, it was a bunch of friction on every yard I went to. The Gersons broke away and it was just tense everywhere.
Did you feel anywhere along the line this early in my life that I've messed my life up? Like, what was your mentality when it really set in? Like, I'm ready to go do some time. I'm ready to go do some real time. Did you feel like, man, I'm so young and I done messed my life up already, or what? Like, what was going through your mind at the time?
His name was Judge Foley. And I ain't gonna never forget this man's words. He told me, from North Las Vegas, when he sentenced me, he told me, after he read my life story, it was so horrific. I couldn't believe
the rap sheet.
Ooh, it was so bad. I couldn't believe I did half the stuff he did. I was like, "You blind? I ain't 17? Do that." Yeah, I was like, I was a habitual criminal already. But when you out there in that life, it's fun. But now I'm facing serious charges, and he told me this. He said, "I'm gonna put you so far up under the penitentiary, they gonna have to feed you with a rifle."
God,
it made me laugh. I bust out laughing because it was funny to me. At the time, I didn't know what he meant, but everything he sentenced me to, it wasn't numbers, it was letters. It said LIFE.
It was life. Initially, it was life.
Yeah. See, I didn't get numbers. I had letters.
You had letters.
Yeah, and it didn't hit me until I got to prison, and that 13th year went by, and this just really get old. This constant knife play, this lockdown, these race wars, these wars with the COs,
Shanks, and
it gets old. So after that 13th year, I found myself still there on the first life. I still have another one to do, and I'm starting to see a lot of stuff. When people come that was my first time in prison. I didn't know when people come to prison, all of a sudden you don't know, you forgot how to fight. I didn't know. See, I was caught up. That's why I'm sitting here with a permanent blink, because I was one of the ones that always went first.
I remember you said one time it took you losing your eye to see straight.
Oh yeah. And that everybody that claim they're about this, as stupid as it is, this right here, it only shows that I was the stupidest. And for a long time, I was just I was bitter behind this.
Okay.
So I in prison, a person to tell you that he couldn't be trusted. You know, I really lived by my name, Demon.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, but my thing is, man.
Where did that name come from?
I used to be a devil worshiper. I was a follower of Anton LaVey. You know, I was a follower of the Satanic Church. I had a Satanic Bible. I prayed to the 13th candle, all that.
Where did that come from, man? Like what?
Well, you know, I used to do that. I was introduced to that in Elko, Nevada Youth Training Center, you know, of Satanism. God, but I always followed occultism, you know, not just Anton LaVey, but Aleister Crowley and the Golden Dawn.
I heard Aleister Crowley. I heard it.
Yeah,
I heard them cats, man.
Him, you know.
Them cats are son. They know well renowned for the wrong reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you something. It's not to be played with, because once you in prison, you don't have nothing to do but think. And you know that's what we become good at.
Time, nothing but time and thoughts running through your head.
And just like you know, you exercise your mind and your body on the weight pile and become big and buff. You know, if you get a hold of a bunch of books and do the same thing and exercise your brain, you become so powerful mentally. And so I start indulging in occultism real tough, you know, whether it be Knights of Malta, Bilderbergers, Illuminati itself, you know, or the Trilateral Commission, Council on Foreign Relations,
300,
Committee of 300. Well, I got into all that stuff, you know, and I mixed it, you know, with Satanism. I was just evil.
God,
you know, and I try to hex my enemies. I hex COs. You know, I just couldn't get a hold of no animals and nothing like that. But I was, you know, we made them recognize our religion in prison.
Okay.
It was recognized in prison and accepted. But you know, when I found myself, like I said last time I was in here, with 5 years in a hole, and I was sitting there with a book I hated, which was a Bible, and I was in there with my drawers, and I was praying to this, you know, entity that I was, you know, taught to believe had all this power. I even got horns tattooed on my head, got unholy in the back of my head. I got, you know, I really believed in this. I mean, you can do so much wrong, but I want you to do the right thing, which is open this goddamn door, because I've been in here too long. He couldn't do it.
5 years in a hole?
And I had it multiple times. And you imagine what that goes through, but it taught me a lesson. I have nobody to blame but myself. And ain't no devil, ain't no LaVey, and none of that was coming to unlock that door.
At the end of the day, nobody to blame but me.
But nobody to blame but me.
What shifted that? What changed everything for you, man? What made you kind of lean more towards God and all that? Like, what was the defining moment, would you say, that shifted that? Because that's a huge shift. You was all the way on this side, and like, what brought it back around to this side?
Well, you know, just I was, like I said, I was a devil go-to guy. I left his ranks because I realized he was just as weak as I was, and weaker than me. You know that. You know, I realized that everything that I was worshiping was inside me. That, you know, I didn't find God in no church or no mosque. I didn't find a devil in no temple. I found all that in me.
In you.
Yeah. So just like the devil, I indulged. I quenched my thirst, you know? And when I found God, it was something rejuvenating, because it wasn't about, you know, all this sacrificial hate and all. It was just purity. It was acceptance.
Okay.
You know,
went from the dark to the light.
Yeah. It was him teaching me how to forgive myself.
And that's huge.
And it takes time.
Yeah.
And allowing yourself to feel empathy and compassion, and allowing it to have its place. Yeah. And you start to cry. You know, and
kind of releasing that and getting
the anger. Yeah. And sometimes you find yourself cussing, punching at the walls and all that. You need to go through that. It's called healing. You know, that's and true. Once I was able to do that, it took me a few years to do that. You know, and once I was able to do that, it was like learning how to walk all over again. But I was
walking a new life.
But I was walking straight for the first time. You know, I was able to walk a straight line. You know, and that was cool, you know, and from there it was baby steps, but I learned to walk, and then I learned to jog, thinking mentally now. And then I learned how to run. And then I became a sprinter, all in the name of God.
Stride of, in the name of God. Amen.
And that brought me here. You know, in front of you, God, to spread my message. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's a lot of people from the last time I talked to you that don't like what I'm doing.
What do you think they see out of? They don't like what the way would they say you glorifying it, or they don't want to bring up the past, or like what do you say do you get the biggest pushback from? Because I know you talk about a lot of the hate, but if you're doing what God has called you to do, man, you know you can't worry about what other people say. What do you think the biggest pushback is with your message?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't. Number one, I never took orders. I ain't no soldier.
Right.
I was always a warrior. I never took orders. That don't mean I'm a leader, but I never took orders. I did what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. That's number one. Number two, it's a lot of people that I know have skeletons in the closet. That's between them and God.
Yeah, it's right.
You know,
right.
I don't use my platform to expose nobody, but it's a lot of people that want to be put in places they weren't, and it's a lot of people that it took people to die for them to become important.
Yes.
So if people gotta die for you to become important, that means you were never nobody.
Never, right.
So I'm not finna get up here and try to glorify what we've been doing out here in these streets, because what we've been doing out in these streets is nothing to glorify. I'm gonna tell you something, man. I'm gonna tell you something. What's the difference between a Klansman putting on a hood, throwing a noose around his neck, and getting on a horse and going out and hunting a black with a shotgun? Then two brothers putting brags on, getting in a Chevrolet with two AK-47s and going to hunt a black. What's the difference?
No difference.
They both
and I
boys
even
in the
heard
hood.
that before. They said, well, the Klan can retire because the brothers are doing all the work.
Yeah,
the Klan can take their hoods off and just let the brothers just do all the work.
And they can do that because they got the boys in the hood. They got the other boys in the hood. You see, they the original boys in the hood.
The original, right.
Yeah,
right,
now we
right,
the boys
right.
in the hood.
Yeah,
you see, my job is I walk that walk. I don't want to wait till I get in the penitentiary or on my deathbed to tell like Ivan the Terrible or somebody or Constantine and say, I'm sorry for what I did.
Right.
No.
At the end of your time, when you ain't got no time left, then try to get up right.
Exactly. My mission and that's the deal with God. He say, I didn't let you out. I let you out. I made you unqualified for prison, even though you took life. Your job is to save lives. And I know the hate because I left the ranks of Satan.
Right.
And all the hate, that's why people that say stuff about me, these are the same people that wouldn't look me in the face when I was living that life.
When you was out there.
Exactly. So I know that Satan taunting me like, quit struggling with yourself, Terrell. Come back. And my thing is this right here. If they don't hate on me, I'm not doing my job right.
Right, that's true. And you can't please everybody, man.
Nah.
You know what I mean? And you really can't, man. And the message is for, who it's for. You know what I mean? I truly
it's for the youth, man. And I shout out everybody that lived this life that, whatever, solace they found, whether it be just getting a job and paying off your child support. Whatever you doing positive, I salute you because, Lord, you know what? Shout outs to it's a youngster called KTV. And, he's a little youngster that tries to chronicleize the streets of Vegas from a youngster point of view.
From a youngster's point of view.
And,
but he has limited knowledge on it.
But my thing is, we don't give people like that, and he might not be, and I'm not saying he's not. Some people might not like how he talk, But my thing is, why don't we give these type of youngsters the attention? He's not in the streets murdering nobody. He's actually trying to do something and use skills that we all know young black boys don't like to express themselves that. So for a person to put all their flaws in front of you, and try to express to you what's really going on in these streets and why young brothers like him succumb to the streets, we should look at that and listen to him.
We got to respect that.
Let's not wait.
He's doing something positive.
Exactly.
He's doing something positive.
I mean, we get attention to people like Tory Lanez getting 10 years in prison for shooting a female. Or, everybody, I'm going to say this, man. I don't agree with what Charleston White say, but a lot of what he say is true.
A lot of what he says is true.
And I'm going to tell you something.
It is.
For one man to be able to take on everybody like that, because everybody comes from...
And almost be undefeated doing it.
Yeah, you know why? Because they keep proving them right.
Every time.
Yeah,
every time.
If you look at this internet, if you on the internet and you not being, we didn't already did the banging in the streets. Why are we taking the banging to the internet?
To the internet.
You internet banging and y'all got great eyebrows and y'all going back and forth with one another. Talking about putting bags on heads and all that, man. You should be teaching your youth, your child watching this, man.
They're watching this. And what is the next generation going to be on? It's like I always say, real gangsters ain't on the internet.
Nah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Not the real gangsters ain't on the internet, man. And so with Vegas Chronicles, when you first started, when you got out and everything, was YouTube and all that, was all that fairly new to you? Was it like just something you wanted to try out, or like what was it new, or what? Like what?
When I first got out, I ain't mess with it. I me and I'm never gonna be I guess you could say internet type of individual.
Okay.
I'm a little bit old school, you know, and my thing is I can stand on a corner with a bullhorn. It don't matter. I can give it to you raw. I can give it to you in the church. I can give it to you underwater. If it's the message, that's what counts. And I'm built for it, you know.
And so, I think so. I truly believe so, bro. I truly believe you was built for this, man.
Yeah, you know, my thing is this is my journey. I want to go into the roughest, toughest schools that they obviously can't seem to control. Send me up in there. You know, if I got the ability and people can...
You look forward to the challenge, right?
I shut down prison yards. So you think I don't have the influence to go in there and make them get in? I can clear the hallways without a gun.
Right.
See, it's about who you... It's about what you do and how you... I talk, they talk. You know, I have that influence, and a lot of people don't know how to use their influence. They think walking up, telling a little homeboy, "Hey, what's up, little homie?" You know what I'm saying, and giving him the shake or whatever. That ain't teaching him.
No,
man. What you doing, man? What you out here doing?
You really
got
to speak to them, man, in their language.
Talk to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not at them. You know, and that's the thing, man. A lot of them don't have their fathers. You know, and my thing is, when I'm on the internet and I'm speaking, I want I don't care how hard you is. Trust me, brother. I done been the most hardest person that the state of Nevada deemed hard, besides my father, was a white boy named Pat McKenna. That was the most dangerous white person in Nevada, and he died on death row. But this dude right here took over the old county jail, and let me tell you something. When you playing hard and tough, did nobody want to cross this dude right here? He killed his cellie for beating him in chest. He strangled his cellie. He was a killer, man. Now, when these youngsters out here, you know, it's not about how hard you is, brother. You can never be hard enough. So that right there is, I don't care about that, because at one point in your time, you're going to want to grow up, and I hope it ain't when you got a life sentence.
That's true. It's going to be too late then.
Yeah.
It's going to be too late.
So I'm trying to talk to them, and because your homeboy, if they really love you, they'll love you when you free. They won't love you when you locked up. Because when you locked up, you'll get your heart broke, because you go find out.
Who's who?
Yeah, because when the phone start going to, you know, voicemail and all that, and your homies ain't sending you no money no more, and they never was, and they out there doing it to your girlfriend now.
Right, and they forgetting about you and all that,
And then you end up locked up with them, and then you like, what happened to the money you said you was going to send me? And then it was like, man, I was on my way to send it to you, but... You know, my baby mama called me, and you know how that is, child support, man. You know, I was
all kind of lies and stuff. Then,
so,
all kind of lies. Yeah. Why do you think your content resonates so good with people, man? I mean, a lot of people I see, they coming from LA, they coming from a little everywhere, but it tends to really resonate with people, man. I think you're real authentic. It's not polished up. You just raw, straight. Why do you think it resonates so good, man? Would you say?
Look at me. Do I look like I'm lying?
Yeah.
Look at me.
Right, yeah.
Look at
me. It's truthful.
Look at me, because when a person not only see you and they hear your words, if they don't feel you, if they can't resonate, they're not gonna watch you. I'm not scared to show my face. You know why? Because I got, despite my flaws and whatever you want to tell, I earned this. This right here, you know, they give people in the military a Purple Heart for.
Yeah, you earned it.
Unfortunately for me, they give you 3-year dumps in the state of Nevada prison for it. So my thing is, when you see a person like me, you can look at me and tell me, and I'm not no joke, man. I really was from these streets.
They know you lived it.
I lived it, and since the age of 10. So there's nothing I haven't done in this game, you know, and I tell any youngster on any day, man, you know what I'm saying, listen, the greatest thing I ever did in the gang was get out of it.
Yeah.
You know.
That's huge, man. That's a mic drop right there alone. That's a mic drop right there alone.
That was my greatest achievement, man. I reclaimed my individuality. Let me tell you something. The lure of street gangs, the lure of streets, the lure of the rebelliousness, the lure of the lawlessness is so seductive. I'm telling you. And the gravitational pull of it from the, let's say, family core, the church or whatever, is just so overwhelming. The church is losing. We have more churches on the west side of Las Vegas than stores.
Right.
And it's more death than anything.
And that's crazy, ain't it? That's crazy, man.
Right. Yeah. So my thing is the pastor need help. And it's people like me that don't want to accept responsibility for what we have done. You can say the youngsters this day is crazy. What made them crazy? They own this, they own that. What got them on it? We was the one that made it. And, you know, so
we look at like what, you know, we say that about, and I've heard that argument before, but we look at it like, okay, what did our generation do to make them like that? You know what I mean?
Let me tell you something. A garden is a reflection of the gardener. We didn't toil the soil. We neglected the fruit, and it became rotten.
That's true. That's true.
That's what happened. We wasn't watering our gardens. You know, one thing that I have that the pastors don't have, that the police don't have, is I have a specific type of influence over youngsters.
That's true.
See,
that's true. That's
and that's what give me the advantage. Let's just say people a gangster advantage over, let's say, common folks, normal people. We have that elusive, you know, perception of, you know, man, this dude do what he want to do. Look at him, man. They walk across the street when they see him coming, and they think we Billy Badass, but in fact we not. It's just an illusion. That's how it look on the outside. That's
how it look.
And it takes people like me to let them know, hey, homie, that's just a perception. That's just how it look. Don't you ever heard the term everything that glitter ain't gold?
Right. It's the perceived,
exactly.
You know, perception of right. They thinking it's one thing and it's not. But you can use that for a whole different cause. Like you said, I'm using my influence to be positive now.
Exactly.
You know? What would you say that the generation of our youth? Where do you think we need to start at?
I think we need to go to the core of it. We need to go to the heart. Me, I'm all in. I don't want. You can say let's catch them before they enter the gangs. Okay, well you can have people for that. It's people that's for that. That can, you know,
the gang prevention and all that.
Let me go at the ones with the Dracos.
Okay.
See, I want
already with the
because I'm gonna tell you something. We didn't already lost. Man, look, we can't allow 500 young black boys and girls to die in places like Chicago a year.
Look at Chicago, man.
And they not even a murder capital no more. It's places like Memphis, it's places Alabama, St. Louis. They over there killing each other.
If you look at the demographic, I don't know what the stats are, but a lot of them are young, man, under 30. Probably under 25.
See how they running up in them Louis stores and them Gucci stores?
Smash and grabs and all that.
Smash and grab. Now listen, now peep the irony of this and the hypocrisy. And that's why I say it's never no spirituality in our movements. Where is the Black Lives Matter people?
Right.
When these kids, them your badass kids running up in them stores. Now Black Lives don't matter no more. Now why we ain't in Memphis marching about these little black boys out here killing each other? That's why I say we so hypocritical as a people. You know that when a person of another color kill one of us,
it's no protesting.
And it's so. And I'm like, what about when we kill one of? We need to be sent to the Hague. And for real, they tell to hell with sitting Wagner and all them. We need to be sent to the Hague first and charged with war crimes against ourselves.
The biggest, my brother once said, he said blacks do the most violent stuff to each other, man.
Man, listen, the most evil of all races. It's a self-racist.
Self-right,
And we have done more damage and harm to ourselves, even now in 2023, than any law enforcement, Klan, Klux, anything you want to name.
And we don't trip as hard when it's, like you said, when it's black on black as opposed to somebody else, the police or somebody. We don't trip as hard. And it happens every day.
Because we allow fake leaders. Some of them still wear perms. We allow fake leaders to push this narrative that we've been. Now, I'm not saying that racism don't exist. Ethnocentrism is a part of life. It's tribalism. Everybody has that. But to say that we've been victims of some type of racial injustice system is bullshit.
That's an easy.
Excuse my French.
That's easy to place that on there, though, right? But what have we done to ourselves?
Listen. If we really want justice, then we need to focus on just us.
Just us.
Because the biggest threat to me is a person that look like me. It ain't no police officer, no skinhead. I'm gonna tell you something that we want to admit, but everybody that ever hear this, they're gonna know it's true. Back when the Gershons in the '60s was beefing, I bet $1,000 to whatever that if a group of Rolling 60s seen me or somebody walking on one side of the street and seen a bold-faced skinhead walking on the other side of the street, you got 4 Rolling 60s in the car. Who you think they go kill first?
They're gonna come hit you first,
Exactly.
And that's crazy. That's crazy.
But we want to be up in arms because Black Lives Matter, right? Right. But right.
You know the story behind Black Lives Matter, right? Who it was started by, right?
You know what? I ain't into disrespecting women, so I'm gonna leave that alone.
But you know where I'm at. But here's the thing. We know who it was started by. It was started by 2 women. But it was funded by George Soros.
I know.
Right? And the money that they funnel through that goes to other causes.
Exactly.
So it's almost like they use that to promote it. Like it's like that's why people were so mad when they found out that they profiting off Black Death, but the money's not even going to the cause. So it was almost like a shell company. Said we're gonna call it this, but the money's gonna be used for something else. It's cold, man. It's cold, bro.
But ain't that the same thing? Hands up, don't shoot, did?
Yeah.
Ain't that the same thing? Same thing. I can't breathe, did?
Same thing.
And what changed?
Same thing.
Right.
Same
okay.
thing.
Well, what about the black women that scream, "I can't walk across the damn street without getting shot by one of y'all"? What about them? We don't put what. See, we fall for the okie doke
every time.
It's a narrative. We shouldn't allow ourselves to be stigmatized to 1 leader, 2 leaders, 3 leaders. It's always like that, and we have to understand. As long as we keep telling ourselves and riding with this narrative that we are victims, we're gonna believe that.
Yes.
I ain't never been a victim of no racism that I know of. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been called more N-words by people that look like me. I've been shot at more times by people that look like me.
Hands
I
down.
shot at more people.
Yeah.
So my thing, all the racism that I experience, all the hate, come from my own people. Now I ain't saying that people are not victims of it. I'm just saying, before we focus on that right there, because if you go out screaming respect, and I want you to respect me as a human, then the first thing you gonna have to, start with is self-respect.
Self-respect. That's where it starts.
Yeah, and once people see you respecting yourself, if they see how black people kill each other and to treat each other, I'm not respecting.
They're gonna say they don't put value on the lives.
Deaf ears.
Yeah, why should I put value on? They don't put value on the life.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Let's segue into something I remember you said about, and you talked about this on one of your latest videos about when things changed, and we talking about '88, and speak on how do you think when gangster rap came in, how it fueled the gang culture, like with the movie Colors, and when that whole wave, because like you said, it went from because I grew up on the golden era of hip hop. We talking Big Daddy Kane, Run DMC, Positive, Public Enemy,
Righteous Teacher,
Poor Righteous Teacher, like all those cats, KRS-One,
Scholar Rock.
Like just that whole, you know what I'm saying? But they be speaking life. You know what I mean? It was the 5%, it was the Brand Nubians, it was that whole era. So what do you think happened in '88 when it shifted and they took it and ran with it? Because I even heard that like you think about Ruthless Records and Jerry Hill and all that was a plan, to make it, a pipeline to prison almost. But speak on that, because you spoke on how it fueled the gang culture.
Well, we was coming. Well, listen, man. When you speak about people, the people, it ain't just white people. Okay,
right.
You have the boule behind that too.
You got the boule behind that.
We go. Let's
because they're the gatekeepers.
Oh,
they're the gatekeepers.
Yeah, that's Sigma Pi Phi.
Yeah.
So Martin Luther King was part of the boule.
I heard that later on. I did hear that.
Yeah. So
I heard that.
I'm gonna leave that alone. But anyway, when we was doing a Brass Monkey, drinking Brass Monkey, that was what was popping back then. That Beastie Boys,
yeah.
That right there. All of a sudden, back during that era, we was listening to Run DMC and stuff like that. You Be Illin', and Chubb Rock, and you know what I'm saying. It was all about social consciousness.
It was social,
Public Enemy especially was social conscious. And what happened was, that wasn't making no money.
It wasn't making no money, right?
You know what I'm saying? And the powers that be had to do something to make money, and not only make money, they bought sponsorship to drinks like Old English. You know what I'm saying? And they used Eazy-E,
St. Ides, and all. I remember the St. Ides, and that's.
Oh yeah, Eazy-E came out. Eazy-E was corny when he first came out. He had I got a fat girl on my job.
Yeah, I remember that.
But see, he had an underground Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood.
You see what I'm saying? So they used this, and this. I'm gonna tell you something about music. It was one of the devil's favorite weapons.
I heard that before. I heard that too.
One thing.
Well, what did they say? He controls the airwaves and communication, all of that stuff.
Because
music
is seductive, and it can be used for good to heal, and it can be used to hurt
for bad. Right.
Trust me. I was
and
a
it's
Satanist.
the energy in it. It's the vibration. It's the low vibration.
Oh yeah,
that gets you in a in a mood about it.
And the seance is like when he came out. I don't drink Brass Monkey. Like to give funky nickname Easy E Yo 8-Ball
Junkie.
Everybody was what's that? And Dope Man. See, Dope Man came out when crack was really
when it was huge. Wasn't it? Huge,
and he gave it that more. Everybody want to be dope dealers. Hey, Mr. Dope Man, you think you
everybody wanted to be a dope dealer.
And when Easy came out with that voice. You know, Easy had one lung. One of his lungs
high pitched voice,
voice. You know, and one of the songs that used to be real popular in the Gerson at this time, because we just lost L. L had got killed like '86 at the Comfort Inn. One of the favorite songs that we liked was Easy Does It.
Easy Does It.
And one of the lyrics on that, he said, he shot, pop, pop,
I shot, boom, boom, right.
As you can see, I cold smoked it. See that right there?
That was when they first introduced gunshots in the music and all that. Right,
and we used to be drinking Old English and Wild Eyes Rose and used to be sitting in the car listening to that. He shot, pop, pop, not shot.
I mean, just getting gassed up, man. Huh?
And I'm going to tell you something. It does something to you. It do. It sends you in the world. And then when you put Sherm with it.
And put Sherm.
PCP.
I heard that Sherm was something else, man.
Hey, when I committed my crime, I kid you not, I was so whacked out on Sherm and Mad Dog. When I did not know what an individual that I murdered stayed, but it was like the devil was in the car with me, in which he told me everywhere I needed to go. But after I did what I did, he was gone.
That's crazy.
Everything worked out so cold. It was like I knew what to go. I knew when I did what I did, not to get into that, but I actually had a fight with the guy over the gun, and it was like I just was. I wasn't me. Something took over me.
You was somewhere else.
Something took, and I swear to God,
when you let those spirits in, man, and they take over.
And I started smoking Sherm because I wanted to smoke and smoke and smoke because I wanted to find that again. What was that made me do that? Yeah, so I started, and I didn't know that I was just killing myself, and it ended up with me reaching for a gun with the police. They had a 12 gauge in my face. I got caught on Casper in Burgundy Square, right across the street from
Burgundy Square,
with Old Stop and Shop. They called me up over there in the backyard, parked, and I was reaching for a gun up under the driver's seat. I was in the
blew you away, man.
If my homeboy didn't cross his legs around my arm and throw his hands up like this, say we cool, they would have. And when they opened my door, they stuck a shotgun right there. Now, if the police was racist, I wouldn't be here because I was reaching, and they had a 40
They had every right to
and I was a wanted murderer.
God.
He could have splattered me, but he said, "Don't you effing move! Don't you effing move!" And it was the Yellow Jackets. That's why they didn't kill me, because this same guy, David Reed, I swear to God, he could have killed me in the desert.
Who was he? Was he a police?
He was a Yellow Jacket.
A Yellow Jacket. Okay.
They called me. I was shooting. I got drunk and was shooting in the air before the night went down. It was on New Year's Eve, and I was in the Brownies in the Sierra Nevada Arms.
Sierra Nevada Arms.
I was coming through the desert by the phone, by that phone company that was up over there before And they drove all in the desert. Somebody called the police on me and described me. They drove in the desert, and I had a Winchester sticking out my trench coat, and you can see the butt of it. And they drove all in the desert, and they called my name over the thing. Sheepdog, don't move.
They knew you by your street name and everything.
They knew me, and because I was known for carrying 12 gauges and wearing trench coats. I wear a trench coat, and listen to me, I was turned out, burnt out, permed out, and shermed out. For real.
That's all the wrong things, too.
Man,
that's all the wrong things.
They knew who I was. So when they seen me, they called me by my name. I was so whacked out on water, any wrong move, they could have filled me up. He actually got in front of his partner. So his partner wouldn't shoot me, and he was walking close to me. He said, "Don't move, man. Don't move." And he told me to get on my knees, and I got on my knees. They could have killed me.
Easily.
It
wouldn't have been justified.
Man, they had 3 occasions the police could have knocked me down, and they didn't. That's why I find this concept of, I'm having struggles with that because I never witnessed that. They caught me on 3 occasions. And you don't
different occasions.
Man, you don't even get a half occasion a day.
You don't. You really don't, yeah.
But they on 3 occasions, that's why I don't buy that narrative. Now, if you ain't never lived this life, you can sit on the sideline and say, they do kill black folks. Sit your ass on the sideline.
If you ain't never easily been gone either one of those occasions. Yeah.
If you ain't never been through this, don't speak on this because you poisoning these kids' heads, man. I was to blame for each time they could have killed me. So y'all would have been burning y'all stuff up looking like fools because
you was to blame. It wasn't like they unjustly killed you if it happened like that.
Yeah, but my age.
Your age.
Each time I was in the first time they could have killed me, Officer Sutton in the Gerson, I was 13 years old.
13.
Trying to throw a gun. and it got caught. The hammer got caught in my underwear, and when I ripped my underwear, and when I threw it, it just went about 5 feet over here. Me and the police looked like this, and when it hit the ground, we both looked over there, and he had that gun right on me. He could have splattered me. 13 years, and when he found out my age, they had to call the fire department for him to calm him down, because he said, I almost fucking killed a 13-year-old. He was out there screaming. So it would have been my fault though. But everybody had been up in arms about a 13-year-old black boy.
Yep. See? And not knowing the full story.
I did that. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I try to teach, quit putting your parents and the police in these predicaments, because you have a choice. Don't never forget that. Listen, I'm going to reiterate this. Don't never feel you don't have a choice. Being a gangbanger is a choice.
That's a choice.
Okay, I don't care about how you grew up. Listen, I done seen people grow up without their mothers and their fathers,
and still turn out all right.
You know why? Because they chose to just weather the storm. You know, and some of us, you know, we chose to be bitter or whatever, but it's a choice.
Yeah,
I chose to go through what I went through, so I want youngsters to know. Listen, homie, it don't make you no less of nothing if you choose not to get in the car with people that you don't. Your limbic system go tell you, man, something ain't right. Don't do it. But to prove your hardness and all that, if you don't want to do it, you have a choice.
Remember, Boys in the Hood, when what's your name said, "Let me out the car." I think that was the most gangster move in the whole movie.
Yeah.
And he knew, like, Lawrence Fishburne was his pops.
Right.
And like, man, I ain't about that life, man. Right. You know what I mean? I'm not about that. Like, what was his name? Trey? Was it Trey?
His name was Trey. It was Trey. Cuban Gooding Jr.
Yeah, Cuban Gooding Jr. When he said, let me out the car.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And you know what's even sadder about that?
Well,
at the end of it, it said 2 weeks later, Doughboy was killed.
The Doughboy was killed.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's the sad part of it, you know, and that's Boys in the Hood.
That's Boys in the Hood.
But that's what we need. That's our real enemy. The biggest enemy, I'm going to tell a youth, that you go ever face in life isn't some white man trying to keep his boot on your neck.
Yeah.
It's only going to remain there if you're allowed to be there. You got to lay down for somebody to put your boot on, you know.
You think it's peer pressure to be in it?
It's beyond peer pressure. It's peer pressure mixed with attention seeking. A lot of youngsters want to be noticed. A lot of them, they do some of, if you go on YouTube and you a lot of them do some of the most stupidest
stuff. What they say now, clout is a heck of a drug.
It's a heck of a, listen, and it's a lot of people that attack me just for doing what I'm doing, calling Vegas, you know, disrespectful stuff and stuff. I don't get into that. I'm too old for that.
Right.
You know, the greatest battles I won when not a lick of blood been shed. I don't play checkers. I'm gonna play chess if I play anything. I left checkers in a sandbox along with imbeciles. So my thing is, listen, I'm trying to save lives. It's easy to take someone's life.
Easy, yeah.
You see, it's easy to do that.
Try speaking life. It's easy to speak death. Try speaking life, man.
But the gangsters is the ones that try to save them. You know, at the expense of themselves. You can come at me whatever you got. I know what I was about. I know what I am. I put myself out here for you to do that. Do that. But it's not gonna deter me, because I understand the cries of black, not just black, but Hispanic and some white mothers that sit there clutching the cross with nobody to turn to because she done buried all her kids. So I don't give a dang about nobody trying to clout chase off me, ridicule what I'm doing, because it's not about me or them. It's about what I'm doing, and I ain't make a deal with them. I made it with God.
Right.
You know, and when they can show me something that he can't, then me and them can talk.
Yeah.
But he left me here not because I'm lucky, not because I'm special, and not because I have redeemed myself. I'm forever a student in life. A learned man is a dead man.
That's true.
My thing is I'm gonna continue doing what I'm doing until I do right by him.
Right. And we say job well done. You know,
and that's when he called me home. So that means I'm gonna do this until I get called home. This is my mission. Just like I say, this Gerson for life. You know, no, this saving the youth for life.
Right. That's the real thing.
Yeah,
that's
because it's about life.
It is. We only get one life, man. And that's a perfect, way to roll this out. What would you say before we wrap this up, man? What is your vision going forward for Vegas Chronicles? I know you over almost 1,200 subscribers now. What is your vision going forward? Just to keep putting the content out, just keep speaking the truth? Or what is your vision going forward, man?
Honestly, I don't really, the viewers, I don't care about that. My thing is I'm going to just keep doing what God told me to do and telling the truth. See, I lived a heck of a life for a reason, and I've watched so many of my childhood friends die. A whole generation.
Really,
Listen,
a lot of childhood friends.
If you walk, listen, I come from Herbert Gerson, and that was at one point in the biggest gang in Vegas. And I'm gonna tell you, if they took roll call is naming every real actual member. If they took roll call, we got literally, almost 300-400 dead homeboys. God, and Vegas is too small to
that's
be
a lot
big.
of funerals to go to, man.
Yeah, and that's over the years, and that's not counting the gangs that got wiped out. You go to, I'm not gonna go there because it's probably some people that'll take that the wrong way.
Yeah.
So my thing ain't, but it's gangs that literally got wiped out, and it ain't because of gentrification and none of it. It's because of black boys that went over there and murdered them, or they didn't went somewhere and got murdered. They got wiped out. They not here no more. So that right there, I'm not gonna let people forget about them. And the way you do that, because it's mothers. Listen, I'm gonna end it with this. One of the most powerful things is a woman's intuition. Okay,
amen.
We cry about unarmed blacks getting killed. What about the unarmed black kids that got killed that wasn't even part of gangs?
That wasn't even part of
that got caught in the crossfire. What do you think them mothers be thinking when they sitting there clutching the cross, rocking back and forth? Who you think they unleashing? Women are in tune with this universe. Hurricanes,
and they wasn't, like you said, they wasn't even in the gang.
They weren't in the gang. So imagine what a mother feel. She gonna unleash something up on you, boy, and you wonder why y'all getting killed not armed. People not thinking about that. We reap what we sow.
That's big.
Yeah, chickens coming on the roost.
You gonna reap it. You definitely gonna reap it, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Where did the moniker Bigg Mitch come from? I forgot that shit.
Bigg Mitch from Super 6.
Yeah, what is the Super 6 anyway? What is that?
Super 6 was what Mario's was. That was
okay.
Yeah, they used to be called Super 6 back in the day.
Right there where Mario's was?
That was Super 6.
Wow.
And right
that's
across,
crazy.
and over there where the CVS was called Rita's Groceries.
That was Rita's Groceries?
That was Rita's Groceries, man.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's why
crazy.
I say anybody know Super 6, that you gotta be from old school. That's
you gotta be old school,
And I got the name Mitch from Betrayal.
Okay.
And it's I've been betrayed. I don't need to go into that because I left the game. I'm gonna keep it so 100 with you. The ones that know me, that support me, I love them. But the other ones, you know what I'm saying? God bless you.
God bless you.
My thing is this right here. My thing is this right here, man. I'm out the gang life. I'm cool. I'm free, and I'm like this. But Bigg Mitch come from the movie Paid in Full.
Okay.
Money Making Mitch.
Money Making Mitch. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And what happened to him at the end?
Yeah.
He was betrayed.
Yeah. He was betrayed.
Yeah. Trying to do what?
Right.
Get his what back?
Yeah.
Trying to get his little brother back.
Trying to get his little brother back. Yeah. The one they kidnapped, his uncle kidnapped him, cut his finger off, and
the preacher, the Black Hand of Death.
Yeah.
Not the Ku Klux Klan and Nathan Bedford Forwards. Not George Wallace.
That was his own people.
His own people, and who betrayed him?
That was
betrayed
cold.
him? Yeah, they betrayed him. Yeah, that's why I call myself Bigg Mitch from Super 6.
From Super 6.
But I ain't getting killed in no stairwell.
Right, sure way. That's a cold way to go out, ain't it? Cold way to go out.
I ain't gonna die like that. I ain't gonna die like Richard Porter, no way.
Right.
But that's how it go. You always get backdoored. It was just something that just happened. I'm not getting into that on the YouTube. It was a YouTuber that just got knocked down in California. I don't know. I'm not gonna get into that because that's their politics.
Okay.
But it was a dude that was all over YouTube. You can go in there. He all over there, and his name was S-Bone. And I'm just say that they backdoored him and did something to him. And people died, man, behind this internet.
Serious stuff.
And they take it. And I'm not gonna say no names, but they taking remedial people and they making them famous.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, this is what y'all really putting out here.
Having no talent and being famous for
And that's why Charleston White is undisputed. You see what I'm saying? I don't kick dirt on the dead, and I don't say stuff that you get your point across how you get it across. But a lot of stuff you say is absolutely true. I would love to debate him.
Would you? Yeah, that'd be a good debate.
I would love to debate him. I would love to debate anyone that's willing to sit down with me. And it ain't a debate to prove each other wrong. It's the debate to build.
It's just a debate.
Anybody that's out there that's willing to sit down with me, what do you have to lose? I'm just a former gangbanger with one eye. So come and debate me. Let's see if I'm serious or not about what I say. Test me. Send me to your schools. I'm asking you to. I bet you I can do a better job than any unit you can assemble. I bet you I can. Send me to any school. That's what we need to. They turning the schools into prisons.
Right, they are.
My thing is, I can stop it. I promise you I can.
You can stop it, That's what I wanted to ask you too. Do you think like your time in prison or prison in general can be in university?
You think? Say that again.
Can prison be a university? Like your time you spent in, is that equivalent to you
prison? Yes.
Learning and turning your life around? And do you think it could be a university if used right?
It's sad, but yeah. I'm gonna tell you something. Prison, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. I hate to say that,
hate
man.
to say it,
and
yeah,
I hope no, and I want to stop you black youth people that look like me from saying that.
I'm saying that, yeah,
because I shouldn't have to go to prison to be civilized.
To be right.
That
But it's crazy, but that's what it took, though, right?
Yeah, but it also gives credence to that 3/5 of a human.
Yes.
And my thing is, my thing is, prison. You can do two things. You can kick rocks, talk about what used to be or what could have been, or you could take advantage of what people don't take advantage of.
Yes.
And which is the library. And you can go in there. It's free.
It's free all day.
And you ain't got nothing but time.
Nothing but time.
And
right.
why would you want to hang around a man all day? So won't you go in there and do something that you normally don't do? Educate yourself.
Educate yourself. It's all on you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And instead of you can spend so much time on the way pile, and you can build some of the Arnold Schwarzenegger, Stanley Tookie Williams physique.
But build this up. Try build this up. Yeah.
And a lot of them is they don't have self-esteem.
Yeah.
And they don't
low
want,
self-esteem.
Yeah, because you'll be amazed at how many dudes that can fight that they can't read.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Man, dudes that know how to use a knife is surgical with it, but have other people reading their letters to them.
Man.
Because they
sad.
don't, because they, or these dudes with these big old muscles, and he got a 4th grade education.
Throw a book at him.
Yeah, you know, or if you want to hide something from him, put it in a book.
Put it in a book. I heard that too.
You see what I'm
heard
saying?
That, all day. Yeah.
But
that's straight.
Yeah, you know, to close it out, man. Basically, Vegas Chronicles is just my life story. And I also I try to be careful because I have, you know, shout out to HP Blue Mile from the Wrigley States, Big Alexis from a former Rolling 60s. These guys used to, you know, supposed to be enemies of mine, but they people that really like what I'm doing. They older heads. They older than me.
They didn't got older.
Shout out to Slick, my Uncle Slick, everybody that support my platform, you know, and they call me and they talk to me, and if I say something wrong, like for instance, I said something last time I talked to you about Michael Finley being a leader of the Bloods, a founder. Well, I talked to shout out to Burtis from down there. I talked to some guys down there. They say, "Well, Sheep, you know, look, man, we love what you're doing, but that's not true. I don't know why he, you know, but Machine Gun Slick is supposed to be the founder of the hood. That's neither here nor there. I'm pretty sure they can get up here and tell their story better than me. My thing is what goes on in the streets.
In the streets, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to that, I'm gonna keep it pure and I'm gonna keep it real. It's fun. It's fun until the rabbit got the gun.
Right. It sure is.
You see, and that's what I want all youngsters to know, man. And that look at the destruction you're doing, not just to your family, yourself, but the other person, not the one you hate, but look at what you're doing. What does mama do to you?
What does mama do?
What his sister do to you?
Yeah.
That's
down
what
the
you.
line, other people you have. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I salute your platform too, man, for bringing positive for exposure, man. And I support y'all. Check out D.Fos, man. It's a beautiful platform, man. It was a blessing to always come and talk to you, man, and share the stage with you, man.
Much love,
bring
brother.
Insightful knowledge, you know what I'm saying, that people can take and, you know, hopefully they can learn something from it.
Yeah, that's the goal, man, that they can really pull something out of it, man. The Streets of Vegas meets Vegas Chronicles. Bigg Mitch, man, we appreciate your presence, man. Keep doing your thing, brother. Salute, man. Nothing but love, man. The grind don't stop. We blasting off, man. Vegas Hype Media Network. Check us out, man. Quan on the boards. Streets of Vegas, and we out.
Bigg Mitch.